Hey, welcome everybody to this week's Healthy Game Zoom. Amber talked last week about the two-part brain, and if you guys have read today's daily reading, it talks about brain and BMR. And so BMR is base metabolic rate, and a lot of people think that base metabolic rate is unchangeable. But there's a lot of things that we can do to change that base metabolic rate. And the brain is a big part of that, because that base metabolic rate is the amount of calories that our bodies burn just at a resting state, not involved in any activity or any unusual movement or motion. So the brain actually accounts for 25% of our base metabolic rate. But the interesting thing is, and I read this years ago, that this article was telling people, hey, instead of laying down to watch TV, sit up to watch TV, and then even move beyond that and sit up to read a book and exercise your brain a little bit. And it was crazy. The research that they had to back it up, that sitting up and reading a book versus laying down to watch a TV show, and some TV shows were more invigorating to the brain than others, obviously.
What about The Bachelor? Is that one invigorating?
Probably not. That probably like puts you below your base metabolic rate.
Comatose.
Yeah, comatose state. But to sit up and read a book for an hour versus laying down to watch a television show, the difference of about 35 calories in an hour. So when you add that up over days and weeks and so on, that accounts for a lot of extra pounds that we put on over the years. So one of the things that I like to do is, even when I'm watching a TV show, because guess what? I watch TV. Especially if it is sports, right? But instead of just sitting there with a big pile of nachos or something in front of me, I have a bottle of water with me always, so I'm getting my water in. But I get up and I walk around during timeouts or commercials or anything like that. Even if I'm DVRing it and I'm just pushing fast forward, I just get up and I move around all the time. So a couple other things that we can do to, our brains are just like our bodies. When we go to the gym, we're going to the gym or any kind of exercise that you enjoy, you're trying to shape your body, right? Well, we can also shape our brains physically. There's something called neural plasticity, where our brains actually change shape. And this happens by establishing new habits and new patterns in our life. Have you ever been driving home and you're like, you get home and drive into your driveway and you're like, whoa, how did I get here?
All the time.
All the time. It's like, whoa, I just put a lot of people in danger on the road because I was just in this habit and I was in the groove. Even people do it even so much as in being in certain lanes on the highway. So just being aware can help us burn more calories by being aware of our surroundings and making decisions to slightly alter what we might do on a daily basis, even though they might not be bad habits.
Is it like, even if you brush your teeth with your non-dominant hands, you burn more calories?
Yep, because you have to think about it. But I would have toothpaste all over my face because I'd be like this. So just think of new ways, new things during your day that you can do slightly different. Take a different way home, walk a different route. If you're in the habit of walking around the neighborhood or something like that, going out for a walk, don't always, if you are a runner or jogger, don't always jog the same path. Don't always listen to the same music. Alter your playlist, things like that. But that's also another great one, is add music to your day. Obviously, you can't do it all the time, but when maybe when you're doing the dishes, things like that, it just puts your body in in rhythmic motion, and that will help burn extra calories, create new neural pathways, and those synapses in your brain, they'll burn more calories over time, but they'll also help your brain from atrophying, just like our muscles do when we don't use it. Habits are great, especially good ones. Habits can be the best of servants or the worst of masters. So make those good habits, but habits also allow our bodies to kind of go into a resting state where it's been done over and over, and it saves us from excessive energy usage. But when you do need to bring up your energy levels a little bit, choose new ways to do those things. So and put today's daily reading in your favorites list, because it's one of mine. Because whenever I feel like I'm just kind of getting in a rut, I always try to mix things up with my brain more so than with my body, and it just kind of shakes me out of that.
Awesome. Thanks, Jared. There were some good things to think about there. So before we end the call, I want to hear from you guys. I know you're both on mute, but tell me a little bit about your goals with maybe movement or something that you've learned, or a question that you have, whatever you want. I just want to hear some other people talking. Rich, you go first.
Just to keep moving. Honestly, you know, work has been so over the top. You know, I thought it was going to calm down after Christmas, and it just hasn't. Now we got our house on the market, where we put an offer on another house and got it on the market. It just seems like one thing after another. So honestly, my goal is just to make time throughout the day to do something. You know, if I go over to the park and run around the park a little bit, or you know, watching TV, I've got our treadmill down in front of our TV. So if I'm on, I'll just jump on that, and you know, if I get a few minutes. But honestly, it's just that and quiet time. Quiet time has been, you know, a big deal for me lately, trying to find just a few minutes. So
nice.
But
Good.
that's honestly my goal, is just to find time right now, just to do it. So and it's a struggle sometimes to keep up with, you know, with my kids. You know, baseball has started again. You know, I have 7 back-to-back tournaments over the next 7 weeks, and including two leagues during the weeknights now, and trying to sell it. So never mind. It just goes on. It's just fine. It's just making a goal to find time.
Yep. Awesome. I love it.
Even if you're finding, if you have 1 minute, hop down on the floor and do 10 push-ups or something like that. Yeah. I remember watching an interview. It was on a fitness website that I was reading an article on, and it had a link to an Oprah episode. And this guy was 65 years old, and he was just cut. And his wife was complaining because everywhere he would go, he would do push-ups. They'd be in the park, and he would like lean up against a bench and do 10 push-ups and stuff. And she's like, "It's embarrassing," and all this stuff. And Oprah made him take his shirt off. And she's like, "What? You're embarrassed of this? That's crazy." Wow. So.
Yep, that's awesome. That's like six-pack old guy. When we were in Hawaii, this old guy he had the 6-pack, and he just walked down the highway every day with his shirt off. I was like, I want to take a picture with 6-pack old guy. My kid's like, "No, Mom, don't do it."
Did you give up?
When I finally went to go do it, he wasn't walking that day. I was like, dang it.
Yeah, that's too bad.
I know. Okay, Camille, can you be off mute?
Yeah. So sorry, I was walking while you were talking, Rich. My son kept ringing the doorbell, so I want to make sure he was safe. He's out riding his bike without supervision. So I thought of something to say, and now I'm trying to remember what it was. But I love this. You talked about this concept kind of when we were standing in line at Cafe or Costa Vida during the Kim Fisk event. And it really made me think, like, when I drive the kids to school and home, it's the same route, you know, and I like to change things up. So ever since you said that, I'm like, oh, I'm going to start taking new routes, even though it may take a minute or two longer. It's kind of fun. I don't do that all the time, obviously. Uh-oh, where'd you go? Oh, But yeah, it's fun. And I've had a hard time finding things to do lately that are active because I'm not really allowed to exercise right now because I have a really bad knee injury. But like 2 days ago, I was chasing my son at the gym and I could feel my knee hurting, but I'm like, this is so fun to like move and like get my body moving because I haven't been able to do it for so long, but I could only do it for like 2 minutes. So I found myself like when I run up the stairs to take laundry away or whatever, I like do leg lifts as I go up the stairs. So I just add a little extra just to make myself feel a little better, you know? So
I love that. It is, and it adds up. It really does. When people go, oh, I'm not going to do that, it's not going to make a difference.
yeah.
It does. It really makes a difference over time. Just burning those little extra calories here and there and little choices that we make here and there, they add up, whether it's with movement or food or de-stressing or getting extra hours of sleep. It makes a difference.
Yeah.
Over the long haul.
It's just like the reading within the last couple of days about burning a pound of fat. It's about 35,000 calories, or sorry, 3,500 calories per 35,000. That'd be a lot. But
Yeah.
3,500 calories per pound.
Mm-hmm.
And in order to do that, an average adult would have to run more than a marathon, about 33 miles. And who wants to do that? I mean, no one wants to go run a marathon every day, and that's not even healthy for you. So just adding those little bits of movement and keep in contact with your health coach if you have something like a knee injury or something like that, to get ideas from other people of ways you can be active and still protect an injury that you might be nursing.
Yep. Well, thanks for getting on, guys. We're going to put this as playback so everyone can get some more ideas and have fun with the game.
Thanks.
See ya.
Thanks. Have a good day.
Bye.